Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's recipe is a healthy one. In fact, it's even paleo. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna roast up a spaghetti squash in the oven, get some nice flavors going in there. I'm gonna be adding some 100% grass-fed ground beef and some zucchini, and then we're gonna top it off with a nice creamy pesto sauce. I think you're gonna love it. So I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. Let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. I'm gonna go over the basil pesto recipe first. So what we'll need for that is some organic fresh basil, some salt, pepper, some fresh garlic, and some olive oil. And we'll also add a little bit of water to get the consistency that we'd like. For the rest of our dish, we're gonna need a spaghetti squash. I'm using an organic one here. And we'll need an organic zucchini. I have a diced yellow onion, some garlic powder, some salt, organic spinach, and some 100% grass-fed ground beef. We're gonna start off by cooking our spaghetti squash first. That's gonna take about 30 to 40 minutes in the oven. So go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. All right guys, so we're gonna cut our squash in half. Be careful with this because it can be a little bit difficult sometimes. I'm gonna go lengthwise. All right, so now we're gonna wanna scrape out the seeds and just place them in a bowl. Now once we get all the seeds out, then we're gonna just place this on our, I have a foil lined baking sheet here just to make it easier to clean up. And I'm gonna coat the inside of this with a little bit of olive oil. Now I'm just gonna use my hands, guys. You can use a brush if you want. I'm just gonna coat it so it doesn't stick. Turn them over. I'm going to put them face down, and we'll pop them in the oven. So while our squash is cooking in the oven, we have about a half an hour. We're going to start cooking our onions and ground beef. So I got a large pan here, frying pan, and I'm going to put a good tablespoon or two of olive oil in there. And we'll add our onions. I'm gonna just cook the onions for about 10 minutes. I want them to really soften up and sweeten up just a little bit. Now I'm starting this out over medium-high heat. So the onion's been cooking now for 10 minutes, and you can see it's reduced down, softened up just like I like it. Now it's time to add the ground beef. So I'm just gonna pour that in there. I'm gonna turn my temperature back up. I had it on medium-low because as your onions cook, you want to kind of turn it down so it doesn't overcook or burn. And now I'm increasing it to medium-high to cook the ground beef. I'm gonna add some salt to this. And some garlic powder. Continue to cook this until the meat is done. So the ground beef is done, and I drained the grease out of it. Now I'm just going to set it aside into a dish because I'm going to use this pan for the squash. So here is our spaghetti squash after about 42 minutes. You can feel it's starting to get soft. You can see it's getting a little roasted golden brown. It's tender to the fork. Let's check this one. So I'm going to pull it out. So we're going to turn these over so that they can cool, because I need to be able to handle them with my hands to get it all out. So we'll let that cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right guys, so now we're going to work on our pesto sauce. Now I have a couple of cups here of firmly packed pesto. And I've got a pot of boiling water. Now, what I want to do here is keep the pesto from turning brown. Nothing looks more unappetizing than pesto that looks brown. So the way to avoid that is by blanching your basil. So I've got a pot of boiling water here, and I'm going to put the basil in that for 15 seconds. Don't go away. Stay right with it and just watch it. And start counting. Let's get that in there. Push it all down, 1001, 1002. All right, that's been 15 seconds. We're gonna take it out. I have a bowl of ice water here that I'm gonna just plunge it right into. This should keep your pesto nice and bright green. It just takes a second to do, and I think it's worth it. Everything's nice and cold. That stops the cooking process. And I'm going to kind of squeeze the excess water out of this and place it right here on my paper towel covered plate. All right, guys, I'm going to use a blender to make my pesto sauce. You can use a food processor if you have one and you'd prefer that. So I'm just going to throw my pesto right in there. In goes our garlic. Need a little salt. Put your salt right in there. Pepper. And some olive oil. I'm going to add a little bit more of the olive oil. So here's the pesto sauce. You can see how nice and creamy it is. So now we'll just set that aside until we're ready to add it to our spaghetti squash. All right, guys, it's time to put our dish together. Everything's going to go in this frying pan, so I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. And it's time to start scraping out our spaghetti squash. I keep wanting to call this butternut squash, and it's not. And it's still a bit hot, so you can use a pot holder to help you out. I'm going to add the zucchini here, and I'm just going to grate it right here over the pan. No sense in dirtying a dish. All right, there we go with the zucchini. I'm going to give this a little toss right now with my tongs. All right, next comes the spinach. I'm just going to drop that in. And I may add a little bit more olive oil. I want to make sure there's enough liquid in here just to kind of make it yummy. And we're going to cook this. I'm going to cook this for about 5 minutes or so. My temperature is a medium heat. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper too as well. All right, so it's time to add our meat back in, our ground beef. I'm going to get that nice and hot. And we're just going to toss everything to combine it. Once everything's nice and hot, we're going to add the pesto sauce, and then we can serve it up. Look at how beautiful green that is. And then you just want to mix that in to coat it up. There you have it, guys. Our dish is done. It is so vibrant green. I tell you, this would be great for St. Patty's Day. You know, it's just perfectly green. It's beautiful, and it smells good, and it's healthy for you, and it tastes great. I'll serve that up there. All right, here we go. It's delicious, guys. It's super healthy. I hope you'll try it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know anybody who might want to, try this, share it with them. I'd really appreciate it. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click the button up there. I put new videos out every week, so that way you won't miss any. So thanks again for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.